August 9, 2019, hours before convicted sex trafficker Jeffrey Epstein was found dead inside his jail cell at the Metropolitan Correctional Center in New York, newly released FBI video review logs describe a mysterious flash of orange moving up a stairwell near his isolated housing tier, raising questions about activity the night before his death, according to New York Post. The observation log from FBI analysts noted a flash of orange looks to be going up the L-tier stairs, could possibly be an inmate escorted up to that tier just before 10:40 p.m. the night before Epstein was discovered, contradicting earlier official narratives that no one entered the area that evening. A separate review by the Department of Justice Inspector General later described the same orange movement as an unidentified corrections officer, possibly carrying inmate linen or bedding, but did not definitively identify the person or explain why the figure was present at that moment, as the final 2023 OIG report noted. Critics of the official account point to discrepancies between the FBI log and the Inspector General's description, with some independent analysts saying the movement observed in the footage looks more consistent with someone wearing orange prison uniform than a guard with linens, as reviewed by CBS News experts. The newly released logs are part of a broad Department of Justice disclosure under the Epstein Files Transparency Act, which has already included more than 3 million pages of documents and videos related to Epstein's activities and his controversial death under federal custody, raising fresh scrutiny of previously closed chapters in the case. Observers note that the timing of the orange figure, less than 2 hours after Epstein's cellmate was reportedly removed, and while the unit should have been under lockdown, deepens questions about movement within the facility that night, when mandatory wellness checks were not made and record falsification charges were later brought against guards. Adding fuel to the debate, independent forensics and media investigations have highlighted gaps and limitations in the surveillance video, including blind spots and potential missing frames near midnight that aren't fully explained in publicly released footage, further complicating the narrative of Epstein's final hours. The official determination remains that Epstein died by suicide, the fresh logs revealing an unexplained presence near his cell shortly before his death have reignited public and media questions about the precise timeline and oversight inside the Metropolitan Correctional Center on that critical night. Another officer admitted, "We did not complete the 3 a.m. nor 5 a.m. rounds." A third said, "We messed up. I messed up. We didn't do any rounds." CPR was attempted. No pulse was found. Epstein was taken to Beekman Hospital, where he was pronounced dead at 7:36 a.m. Epstein was awaiting federal charges for sex trafficking of minors and conspiracy to commit sex trafficking. Authorities believe he abused hundreds of women and children across properties in Manhattan, New Mexico, and his private island, Little St. James. Now, years later, these newly released images are reopening one of the darkest chapters in modern American criminal history, with graphic visuals the public has never seen before. And the fallout is already reaching the White House, where questions about Epstein were recently thrown back at the U.S. president, triggering a heated exchange and a visibly angry reaction during a press briefing.
Yeah, what do you say? Go ahead.
What would you say to the survivors?
You are the worst reporter. No wonder CNN has no ratings because of people like you. You know, she's a young woman. I don't think I've ever seen you smile. I've known you for 10 years. I don't think I've ever seen a smile on your face.
U.S. President Donald Trump's temper flared inside the Oval Office. And a question about Jeffrey Epstein lit the fuse. After signing legislation to end the partial government shutdown, Trump clashed with CNN reporter Caitlin Collins, who pressed him about alleged references in the Epstein files linked to Commerce Secretary Howard Lutnick and SpaceX CEO Elon Musk.
On the Epstein files, you talked about Democrats who were in there. Elon Musk was also in there, and so was your Commerce Secretary Howard Lutnick and correspondence that he had with him. Did you read those new files that were published by the Department of Justice?
I didn't. I have a lot of things I'm doing, and a lot of things I'm doing. I don't know. You mentioned two names. I'm sure they're fine. I'm sure they're fine. Otherwise, it would have been major headlines.
A lot of women who are survivors of Epstein's are unhappy with those redactions that came out. Some of them, entire witness interviews are totally blacked out. Do you think that they should be more transparent?
The fact that they thought they released too much. I heard that.
The president claimed the only mention of him in the Epstein material involved a conspiracy with author Michael Wolff, saying Epstein and Wolff worked to ensure he lost an election.
About me, that Wolff, whoever Wolff is, he wrote a couple of books, and Epstein conspired against me. Did you know that, Mr. Senator?
I did know that.
They conspired against me, so I lose the election.
Before the
or worse.
Before the reported.
So that takes care of Epstein as far as Trump is concerned.
Moments later, Trump was also asked about British politician Peter Mandelson's resignation tied to Epstein links.
A few months ago, you had in your office here Peter Mandelson, the British ambassador. You were shaking hands with him over a trade deal. He's today been forced to resign from the House of Lords, the upper house of the British Parliament, over his links to Jeffrey Epstein. Just wondered if you had any reaction to that, since obviously he was...
I didn't know about it, but I really don't know too much about it. I know who he is.
On the other hand, the biographer, Michael Wolff, recently fired back at Trump's string of allegations through an Instagram post, openly challenging the U.S. president to take the fight into a full-blown legal war.
So soon, let's sue each other. I have nothing to hide, but Mr. President, you surely do. Epstein talks about his breakup with Donald Trump over a piece of real estate in Palm Beach.
Fresh fallout is exploding around the Epstein controversy, and this time, biographer Michael Wolff is daring U.S. President Donald Trump to bring it on.
Donald Trump had threatened to sue me